You're on camera now, you can't see yourself though, but we can all see you.
How?
Well, on the camera. So do you know anybody who owns a Fortuner? I think that is a question that is probably rhetorical or just a stupid question to ask, because everybody knows someone who either drives, owns, or has owned a Fortuner. Everybody. They are all over the place. I mean, go to any small town over the holiday season and you're going to see a million, hey? You Afrikaners love a Fortuner. Pretoria. Afrikaners here, you know? Love a Fortuner. But they are so popular. They're so practical. They're that big adventure 7-seater, and it's Toyota. But now, something else that's interesting, GR, right? I mean, it's not interesting for everybody, but I'll tell you about it, is Gazoo Racing, which is Toyota's motorsport division. And then there's GRS or GR Sport, which is kind of the more cosmetic enhancements of the vehicle. So the GR, you get like a GR, like a Yaris, which is super fun, by the way. That is a hoot to drive. I've taken that around a track or two. Love it. But peeps were a bit like, with the GRS sort of just cosmetic side of things, were a bit like, well, that's a bit boring. So Toyota added a bit of a vibe to it. So you might remember I did the Hilux GRS review. Fortuna has now had the same treatment. But before I get to that, because this is like the most popular car just about in the world, jokes, I put all the details, all my details into Hippo, today, and I got a quote of 898 Rand a month with 9,500 excess. But did you know, and if you've watched my videos, you should know this already, but I thought because the Fortuner is such a high risk vehicle, something like vehicle tracking would be very, very smart to add to your insurance. So you get quotes on that too. I got a quote for 89 Rand a month for vehicle tracking, which will do you good. Right, so this is one final push to the Fortuner because it's old now. Okay, this generation launched in 2016, but we should see a new one coming out next year. But before that happens, let's give it a little vavavoom. So you'll notice that there are sort of some GR decals and GR badges on the outside. It's quite subtle actually, which I really like. The bumper and the grille looks a bit more like aggressive, a bit more like a row, you know, which is quite cool. It's also got 18-inch GR alloy wheels. So you can get in two sort of colors, two versions, which is Attitude Black, I think I may have written it incorrectly and I can't remember what it was, and Platinum Pearl White, which is the one I'm driving, but always go black. Guys, it looks so hot in black. It's quite imposing and it kind of makes you look very important. If you see one of those driving behind you or coming up behind you, you are going to move out of the way, I can assure you. It looks very cool. I feel like it's a bit lost in the white. Like it could just be sort of any Fortuner because the badging and everything is so subtle, but on black, it just is like, that looks nice. The inside is a little bit more obviously GRS. Also with the badges around on the headrest and stuff, it's also got red stitching, perforated stitching. So you've got it on the steering wheel, you've got it on the seats, you've got it on the gear, what's this thing, handbrake. And then you've also got your red line here in the middle of the steering wheel, you know, for your sportiness, for your racing at the top here. Is it? Hey, that guy almost drove into it. Similar, yeah. Okay. Guys, we're on our way to the in-laws, and so we thought we'd film a family thing, and I'm not even involving them, but whatever, it's fine. It's also got the alloy sport pedals, and then with the seating, it's this like suede leather vibe, which I love because, you know, I hate leather. I've mentioned it a million times lately because of winter. Because this could do with heated seats, mind you. But I love that when you get into this, that suede is quite warm, even though you've got like sort of the bolsters are in leather. But that's okay, because also I'm pants, because it is 12 degrees. Yeah, but then you burn your backside. So you don't want leather under your bum, you know, for all those mini skirts. Oh, love me a mini. Okay, then it's also got a sort of carbon look on the center console here. It's got all the safety features, 7 airbags, and it's also got a JBL sound system. You'll like that. I mean, it's not your Beats edition and you're up, but JBL's pretty cool, yeah.
That's our son.
That is all our speakers are JBL. Probably all from Toyota. Okay, so like let's critique it a little bit. Like it is feeling a bit outdated, even with all these little things, because it is older now. But I think a Fortuner customer will love it regardless, you know. They'll still love the little additions that make it feel quite sporty and quite special, which is the whole point of this. The graphics on the screen, that's where you're really feeling it. Like they're not so sharp, the reverse camera is quite blurry, like, or not really blurry, but out of focus and not sharp. So you're starting to feel the age, which is fine because they're working on the new one. But now let's talk about the spicy engine. Okay, so it is the 2.8 litre GD6 turbo diesel, but it now has 165 kilowatts of power and 550 newton meters of torque, which is 15 kilowatts and 50 newton meters more than the standard 2.8 G6 that we know already. Okay, so it really does have like a little bit more of an oomph. Did anybody just witness that? He literally put my indicator on for me. You don't, I was going to maybe go straight.
But at the previous robot, you didn't.
How
On the left
very
was a bit
dare you. I'm agitated now. Okay, well, that's the first time you've ever done that. I'm horrified.
That took a lot of courage.
Oh, shit. Anyways, I don't think I can get back into my video here. So my flabber is gasted, is what it is. Okay, it does have a pep in its step, and that mid-range torque is much better now. It's also going to be great for towing, and then it's mated to the 6-speed auto, which has been perfectly calibrated. So overall, you do actually feel a bit of a difference, especially if you want to overtake and when you're on the highway, which, yay. The suspension has also been tweaked, so it doesn't feel as industrial as I usually call a Fortuner. Okay, ladder frame. Let's be frank, it's not exactly the most smooth and comfortable ride, but this has been tweaked and enhanced and revised, and so it does make for a little bit more of a comfortable ride and drive. You can also pop it into sport mode here and get yourself, should we do that now? They love it when I do it. Okay, there's a hair on my face.
Hold on, Lukey.
No, well, I'm not doing anything yet. It's a robot, remember? Whoa, that is some brightness. Fuel consumption, it's claimed at like 8.4 litres. You're probably going to sit closer to sort of between 9 and 10, which is really not that bad, actually, considering. And don't forget just how practical this car is. Again, it's a 7-seater, and you can flip and fold and move and whatever's there. I'll try and get that on camera so you can see it. But this isn't really about the practical side of a Fortuner because we know all of that. This is about the GRS version of a Fortuner. So this comes in at a ball here under $1 million, so 999,900 Rand or whatever. And a lot of people are like, $1 million Rand for a Fortuner. Its rivals can start at $1 million and upwards. You can look at cheaper versions of, you know, the sort of adventure SUV and 7-seater, so like an Isuzu MUX or a Pajero, even Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, but like, it's not a Toyota. And I think the badge appeal and the badge strength is, well, we know that it's unmatched. It just is. This is known to be reliable. It can go literally anywhere, and you will find a Toyota dealer that has parts. That's one of the biggest appeals. And I've had this conversation with a number of friends and people who overland and who genuinely use their Fortuners for like family adventures. So whether it's going to Kruger or whether it's going to Namibia and Botswana, their thing is whenever they go with anybody else who's in any other brand, those people always end up a bit screwed because they can go in this and no matter where they break down, they can be in the middle of nowhere, like in the sticks, and there'll be a Toyota dealer or at least one in the town, one's over, and they sorted. So you can't really put a price on that, can you? Or they can, actually, and they have. Why not? I also think, like, good on you, Toyota, for breathing a little bit of, like, fun life into the end life cycle of the Fortuner before the new one comes. Okay? Let's go.
Hold on, Luke.
I mean, he's unfazed. How does mommy drive, Lukey? Fast as a wolf. I'll
And
take
dad-
it.
and daddy?
How does dad? Fast as a cheetah. And how does daddy drive? Slow as a
Snail.
snail. Well, it's called balance, you know. It's called balance.
Cautious.